Welcome, students, to another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. The professor is back from sick leave. It's a full class. It's time to get it on. Let's see what we got in class today. If you have your chat room open, go down there and turn off the little clicky sound. Horton. It's full, man. Just try during class. Some students will drop out during class.
During the middle of class.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Also, you guys who can't get in can hold a student lab. All right. Let's see. We got Mansion. We have Shy Willie. We have MFer. We have Big L. We got Boggles. We got Wolf Gang. We got DKO. Missing milk carton child. We have Travo. Yeah. We got Tim Will. Yo. Alright. Everybody's sleepy? Let's get it on. Alright.
Did we skip someone?
I think we got everybody. Did I skip anybody? I think we got everybody.
Yeah.
Mansion, what's up, bro?
Well, I'm sitting here looking at my Firefox.
Yeah, I already know you're sitting there looking at your Firefox. What do I care about that? What's up, bro?
I want to stay for the whole class, but I gotta leave this time at 10:45. I gotta go to another thing. I can't blow it up anymore.
Let me make an announcement then. Somebody is leaving at 10:45 if you want a spot in class. It's like auctioning it off at eBay. What's up, bro? What's up, Mansion?
I was talking to Bogler just recently.
Yeah.
On the chat.
Yeah.
And I apologized to him for what I felt was I didn't know it was such a big deal. Or I didn't really realize that trying to get him to two things would go against his moral code, and I apologize.
I didn't know it was going against his moral code either.
It was kind of on my mind for a long time, for a few days.
Wow.
And he was totally took it as just kind of fun and stuff, which I was hoping he would.
Sweet.
So it was okay then.
Sweet.
Well, because it came from you and I.
Smokey, what's up, bro?
Well, right now I'm on day 7 of the No Fap Challenge.
Whoa.
1 week.
Last night I had a dream that I had sex with Lisa Kudrow.
With who?
Lisa Kudrow.
Is that ugly chick on Friends?
Yeah, she's the ugly chick on Friends.
Whoa, he's on day 7 for sure. He's got dream goggles. He's got dream goggles on. Wow, okay, so you're banging Lisa Kudrow. What, anything else?
And then waking up for class.
In my dreams. Well, it's 1 o'clock here.
Oh, okay.
1 o'clock a.m. over there?
1 p.m.
1 p.m., gotcha. Shy Willie, what's up, bro?
Not much. I'm
What's that?
excited to be back. I'm excited to be back in class. Ready to learn.
That's an awesome answer that I don't care about. Anybody not have headphones in?
Me?
Put your headphones in. I think you might be getting echo from you. I'm gonna come back to you, Shy Willie. Travis, what's up, bro?
Not much. I'm just...
Yeah, not much with you. Not much with me either. That's cool, bro.
I'm kind of sad because I had to leave early too since I got work. I gotta get paid.
You gotta get food for your belly so you don't starve.
Yeah.
Well, that's bound to happen. What's up, Travo?
I hate when this happens. I feel like I'm put on the spot and I can't think of anything to say. Like, damn it.
Yeah, I feel like you're a total loser. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shy Willie, what's up, bro?
I feel the same exact way as Travo.
Me too. Uh-huh.
And that's all I can think of for now.
Me too. My mind's drawing a blank too. This is such an amazing coincidence. What's up, MFer?
My hands are really cold right now, and I'm doing that thing where you kind of tuck your hands under yourself and sit on them just so they can get warm.
Ah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I was just playing video games with my brother, and it was really annoying since I couldn't warm up.
Couldn't get warm. I hate when you're playing video games, your fingers freeze up, and you can't get any of your reaction time.
Yeah, can't do what I want to do.
What's up, Big L? What's up, Big Lag?
I'm still thinking about that fucking fight. I'm still thinking about that fight between those two bitches. Like it's fucking ingrained into my mind.
Still playing reviews of your fight night. It's got the DVD
That's
on
right.
repeat. Repeat
Yeah,
single
right.
episode.
I commented on it.
DKO. Sup, bro?
What's up, bro? I just finished cleaning my bathroom,
Yeah.
Vacuuming my room.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to come and use it.
Fuck.
Yes. Well, don't make a big mess, because I don't want to clean it again. It took me 2 hours to clean this whole freaking bathroom.
2 hours? Why did it take you so long?
I cleaned everything, man. I cleaned the tub, the toilet, the sink, the
Oh, so you were doing a lot of scrubbing.
Hell yeah. I do it every week.
How come it takes you 2 hours then?
Because I have to wait for the chemicals to soak in.
Oh, you're doing a process. Got it.
It's a process. It's
Okay.
structural.
Yeah, you finally came back to class. You were missing for a while.
Yeah, I shouldn't be here. I should be doing homework.
Same here.
I might leave early too.
Well, you're gonna have to put it in your schedule. Okay, a lot of students are leaving early. Be prepared to jump in. All right. Let's see here. Wolfgang, sup, bro?
Yo, I'm happy I'm here. I was the last one to get in. After a while, I thought it was give and go. I didn't know if I was able to make it, but I was, and I'm glad I'm here.
Sweet. Bogley.
Well, the last couple of days, day before yesterday, I started speaking to Cam Travis after a hangout, and we spoke for hours together.
Wow.
And then
I just spoke to Travel, and it went for like about 30 seconds, and then it just stopped.
So I spoke for hours with that guy, and then yesterday...
How did you manage to speak to him for hours? Because I can only get 30 seconds out of him.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it too, and I don't know how Travis did it. And then anyway, yesterday I spoke with Shy Willie for another like 5 hours.
What the fuck? I spoke to Shy Willie for like 20 seconds.
So in the past, I used to hate these shy guys. I didn't like it.
You're like what? You don't want to have the dog whisperer? You're like the nerd whisperer.
I guess. But in the past, I never used to like talking to people who are really shy.
Yeah, but do you scratch him under the chin? What's your technique?
I don't know. I used to think Travo and Shy Willie, like, what's wrong with them? Why do they not talk?
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with Shy Willie and Travo?
What?
I was thinking the same thing. What the fuck is wrong with Shy Willie and Travo? And then what?
Why are you guys such assholes?
Yeah, why are they such assholes?
And then it came to my mind that people can be shy and act this way. Like, I always think, why are other people not like me? But
Yeah, why are they not like you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted them to go that far though. I think I'd rather them be shy rocks than end up like you. So it's a double-edged sword. I want them to be somewhere in the middle.
So maybe I'll start hosting a shy hangouts for all the
Yeah, you should have a shy hangout for just shy bros.
shy bros.
All right, let's see here. Let's get this rock and rolling. Up to boarded decks.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, I love this one too.
Nice.
My favorite so far.
Yeah, it's the Mr.
So sexy.
Holy shit,
So
Mr.
badass.
T's on the Academy banner.
This,
I don't think I've ever had that one.
I'm gonna make trading cards pretty soon.
Yesterday.
We're gonna have trading cards for banners. We'll have just have like a bunch of banners and you can trade them with your friends. I'll make like a pack of physical banner cards and you just hang on to them, trade them out.
Trading cards.
Yeah.
How to schedule your time here at the Academy? Who knows how to make a schedule?
I don't.
Me.
Oh, DKO. How do you make a schedule?
You limit your time by 15 minutes.
Why 15 minutes? Why not hour increments?
Because you are restricting the amount of time you have in that day to do something.
Why 15 minutes, Travo, and not an hour? Shy Willie, why 15 minutes, not an hour?
Because an hour, you might finish something that you scheduled before an hour's up, and then you'll have like a bunch of extra time.
MFer, why 15 minutes, not an hour?
I think with the 15 minutes, it allows you to get more specific with your schedule, so you can break down things.
Of course, it allows you to get more specific. If you put an hour for Manhood Academy, what are you going to do during the hour? Well, you are all over the place. You have no idea what you're going to do. First, you're going to be in the chat room. You're going to waste 45 minutes, and you're going to think, oh, maybe I should write an expression post. But since you're such an unorganized mess, you're going to waste all your time if you schedule things in big hour blocks. So what you do is you go 15 minutes. When I show up at the academy, it's just for writing an expression post. That means I turn off the chat beep sound. Or that means I don't even go to the academy. I just open a word processor and start writing for 15 minutes.
That's what I do.
Well, why didn't you say it? Okay, so then you have a 15-minute block for just writing that. Then you maybe put 15 minutes for an EM report, or 15 minutes for something miscellaneous, or 15 minutes for contacting other bros, working on your relationships with other bros. So then you might PM somebody or respond to posts. You could put 15 minutes for responding to posts. You could also put 15 minutes for organizing a lab. Maybe you want to organize a student lab hangout during the week where you get more practice with the other students going over some of the things talked about in class. You need to organize that. You need to come up with topics, what you're going to talk about, etc. You can put 15 minutes for that. So the more specific you are with your schedule, the more you're going to get done because you know exactly what you're going to do. Most of your time is wasted deciding what to do, being paralyzed by all your options. But if you decide it beforehand, the guesswork is done for you. All you got to do is do it. 15-minute increments. Be specific. If you're going to clean the bathroom, how would you be more specific cleaning the bathroom?
15 minutes, no. Well, yeah, for
Same
2
back
increments of 15 minutes cleaning the tub. Then another 15 minutes vacuuming the floor.
There you
15
go.
minutes cleaning the curtain.
You have the idea. Same thing with studying. You don't put 1 hour of studying stuff for class. You put 15 minutes for Spanish, 15 minutes for math, 15 minutes for whatever. Or if you need to dedicate more time to one subject, you could put 15 minutes for Spanish. Your next block, you'll put 15 minutes for Spanish. Your next block, you'll put 15 minutes for Spanish. And then you'll switch to 15 minutes for calculus. Do it that way. So each 15-minute block is planned out. Be specific. Be as specific as possible with your schedule. The more specific you are, the better. If your schedule just has big blocks that say, show up, doing this thing, stuff, not a good schedule. Let's see, what's an example of a good schedule and a bad schedule? Well, let's check. Bam. Going to the expectation management section. Wolfgang, where's your schedule?
I don't have one.
Why not? Are you getting everything done?
No, that's one main reason I haven't been here for a long time. Like,
Well,
like I don't have time. Like I'm struggling with school and here and everything.
maybe you ever thought about making a schedule?
I have. I've just been lazy and
Well,
procrastinating.
okay.
Join the accountability.
Yeah, it's time for you to join the accountability group. It's for lazy fucks like you who don't know what they're doing. It's exactly designed for people like you. All right, let's see this one. Let's check out this schedule. Can everybody see the expanded version on my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Training.
Not 15 minutes.
We have a big block called training. What's wrong with that block?
It's too vague.
Too vague. Training in what? You can train in a billion things.
Manual training or exercise.
Then we got
Like,
Jeet Kune
what
Do.
months is he going?
We got some Kung Fu. We got an hour block of Kung Fu. Or maybe it's a 30-minute block. Yeah, you might have he split this up in 30 minutes. So, he's got Jeet Kune Do in there. Too general. Grooming. Half hour, that's fine. Commute to work, fine. Work, fine. Work. Okay, here, what's wrong with these colors here?
I don't know.
What are the colors for?
Red is mandatory.
What?
Mandatory.
Is mandatory?
Yeah.
Yes. See this work and grooming and all that crap? Whatever is mandatory is going to school? All that should be red, not blank. Somebody needs to get together with, who is this? Dikai Kuma. And teach him how to make a schedule and use the colors properly. This is a horrible schedule. Alright, let's find another schedule here. Let's go back one page. Let's check on, Zyger's schedule. There we go. Let's see Zyger's schedule. He's got sleep, eat, prepare, menu. What's menu? I don't know.
Yeah,
He's working on meal menus. Don't know. If it's specific, if it's good enough for you, if you know what you're talking about in your schedule, like you have work here, obviously. in this big block here. That's fine. You don't need to put in a lot of detail. Work is mandatory. You have to do specific things that your boss decides you. That's fine. But the other stuff, let's see here. TM prep. Zyger can kind of get away with this because Zyger already is practicing being specific with his schedule. I mean, with his time probably, because he has a desire to get things done. So he probably is very aware of what he's doing in each of these time blocks. But for you, who are just starting out with your schedules, you want to be more specific. So, for instance, he's got, let's see here. Nope, he's got a pretty full schedule. Let's get somebody with a little more leeway in their schedule. Let's check out somebody with a few more options. Oh, by the way, he had 2 big blocks there for relax. Those are non-scheduled time, so those need to be broken up too. Whose is this?
This is hourly.
Okay, we got a lot of sleep. We got a lot of scheduled sleeping done. Breakfast, work. Grammar.
I see 20 minutes.
Is this a 20-minute schedule?
Yeah, on top.
Oh, gotcha.
See, like,
He did this.
20.
Yeah, he did this a different way. Okay. So he's got grammar scheduled for, it looks like, 40 minutes. Okay, this is too non-specific. It's not broken up into 15-minute increments. And what part of grammar? There's so many parts of grammar you could be working on. So to just put a big block of grammar like this, not very specific. Not a good schedule. Reading here. Is he reading, let's see here, Manhood Academy activities. Okay, so he's got 40 minutes of reading here. What is he reading? Is he working on other things while he's reading? You need to be as specific as possible. So if you can read during this whole 40 minutes, that's fine. But if you're doing anything other than reading, or getting distracted, or this is hard to keep, you need to get more specific with your schedule. Same with finance form. Maybe he's working on his finances. He wants to specify what he's working on. Let's see, anything else here? Podcast watch. Okay, that's an hour. Chat room. He's got an hour scheduled for the chat room. You really want to waste the whole hour? What's wrong with an hour chat room, first of all?
It may or may not happen in the chat room.
Yeah, people might not be talking for an hour. What are you going to be doing there during the hour where people aren't talking?
You could be looking at it.
Yeah, you could be wasting 50 minutes looking at a blank screen. Not a smart idea. Chat room should not be in the schedule. Chat room should be optional. Should be something that is while you're hanging out at Manhood Academy, you could put 5-minute breaks to check the chat room or whatnot. But chat room should not be taking up an hour of time. EM posts. An hour on EM posts. Well, if you're not posting, this is useless. If you're not making use of the schedule,
Yeah.
if Spirit has an hour for EM posts and he's obviously not posting every hour, this is wasted. This is useless. Don't put useless things on your schedule. If you can't keep a single item on your schedule, that item is useless. If you have an hour for EM posts and you're obviously not posting every hour, this is useless. Get rid of it. You're wasting your time. Go through your schedules and weed out all the bullshit that you're not even applying or is not working. If you're not keeping something on your schedule, there's no point in having it on your schedule. You're fucking wasting your time. Don't waste your time. Oh, whose is this? BZS's schedule.
Hard to read.
Yeah, what's wrong with all this blue here?
It's not red. Not using the colors.
Yeah, it's all blue.
Nothing is prioritized. Nothing is prioritized. Make sure you use the colors so you can quickly point out what is necessary, what is, lower down on the totem pole, so you can find out exactly what needs to be done first, versus what can be, tabled for later. And it's in your schedule, so it doesn't mean you need to keep that one thing. So, for instance, Tidwell's got a big chunk here for surfing the web. How long does he have? He's got
That was an old one.
11:30 to.
That was an old one.
Thank you, sir. We got 11:30 to 12:30? 1? Got like an hour of surfing the web. This is kind of like watching TV for Tim Will. So this is kind of like optional time. You could do a lot of other things during this time, but again, make your schedule realistic. If you can't handle working on your expression post for an hour or a half hour, or you can't handle working on your homework for 2 hours, and you need to have that break where you put in an hour watching TV or an hour surfing the web, go ahead and put it in there. Your schedule, first and foremost, must be realistic. It must reflect what you can do. It must reflect the schedule you can keep. You want to be able to add to your schedule, but you definitely don't want to have a schedule that's too ambitious where you can't keep it. So make it simple so that you can keep it in the beginning. Then add to it. Don't make it too hard where you can't keep it in the beginning. Make it simple enough where you can keep it, and then you can add to it. So even if you have to schedule blocks and say, this is optional time, all this is optional time, that's better than not being able to keep that and putting like mandatory things, or putting like paint the house and clean the house and, work on expression posts, and you didn't keep any of those things. It's better to just make that optional time until you can start specifically dedicating like 15-minute increments, change the color code, say this is something I'm working on, this is a goal that I'm trying to shoot for, and you put it in there. And if you make it, great, you can keep that in your schedule. If you don't make it, go back to your regular optional time. So you want to be able to make sure your schedule reflects your ability, not just something of your wishful thinking. If you can't keep it, you're not going to keep it. You're going to be discouraged from keeping it. So don't make it too hard that you cannot meet the goals on your schedule. Again, you want to have some goals on your schedule, some things you're shooting for, you're trying to get and incorporate into your schedule, but make them manageable. The smaller block you devote to that time, to your goal, and the more specific you make it, the more likely you're going to keep it. So if you dedicate 15 minutes to expression posts, it's more likely you're going to keep that goal than if you dedicate an hour to expression posts. You can always add time. If you hit that 15-minute mark, you can add another 15 minutes next week. So make your schedule specific and start with a small goal and then a bigger goal. Add to your goal versus just saying, "Oh, I'm going to be ambitious and do 2 hours of 2 hours of expression posts and 2 hours of EM reports and 2 hours of grading students." Too ambitious. You won't keep the schedule. All right. Anything else here? Let's see. What else do we cover on this? How to write an expression post. Let's just. Oh, wait. First, any other questions about schedules? Anything about the intricacies of making your schedule?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that it's a good time to maybe plan some time in your schedule to look back over the week and see what you actually accomplished?
Yes.
What adjustments
Everything.
you need to make?
You should plan out time for making your schedule. So put half hour for making my schedule or 15 minutes for making your schedule, however long it takes you to adjust it. Once you have a schedule started and you're smooth on it, it won't take you that long to readjust the next week. You should be planning your schedule and reviewing your schedule week by week. So at the end of the week, like on a Sunday or something where you have free time, you should start scheduling a block of time to work specifically on your schedule.
Fair enough.
Yes.
What if you have a specific block of time set out for doing something, but you don't accomplish what you're doing in that 15 minutes? Do you add on to that right then and there, or should you...
Wait, say that again? You have a...
Like, for instance, if I said, I'm going to study for an hour, and every 15 minutes I plan out what I want to study, and for the first 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to memorize these terms.
Okay.
And you don't memorize the terms in 15 minutes. Do you just kind of extend onto that for, I guess, the allotted time and make it greater, or do you move on? And
it depends if it's...
just that?
Motherfucker, who's calling me? It depends on if it's mandatory or not. If this is something that needs to get done, like you're studying, it's pretty mandatory, it needs to get done, if you need to take extra time, that's fine, but it depends on what, for instance, if you're studying for a test, let's say you're studying vocabulary, and then you're studying grammar, and then you're studying, conjugating verbs. So you have 3 things you're working on, and it's taking you too long to study for the vocab. Well, if all of it's equally important for the test, go ahead and move on to your next thing. Then okay, I'm deficient in vocabulary, or you might be deficient in all of it, and then you realize you're going to have to adjust and put some tutoring in there, or dedicate some of your other time to go back and study the grammar, because 15 minutes obviously wasn't enough. So you're going to have to make adjustments to your schedule based on what you're accomplishing. So you're trying to accomplish, studying 15 minutes for grammar, etc. If you can't get the grammar done in that time, or you don't feel like you're strong enough memorizing that grammar, go ahead and schedule out one of your other optional times where you have for, you have something for basketball or something for tennis. You can take part of that time. Or there's a lot of free time you can find in your schedule. If not, you're just going to have to make the most efficient use of your time possible. Maybe you have a lot of work and you have a lot of other obligations that you can't sacrifice. You're just going to have to make do. I would schedule time out of the academy. I would take time for the academy if you need more time to study your vocabulary. There's lots of places you can take it. That's why it's important to color code the time. You obviously can't do it at work because work is mandatory. So if work is mandatory, you can't take away from mandatory time. That's why those color codes are there. So first you start taking time from the least mandatory things to the most mandatory things. So does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're having trouble with vocabulary and you spent 15 minutes on it, what should you do at that point?
Depends on whether or not the other parts are equally as important. So
Right.
if they are equally as important, I should move on. But if vocabulary is essential, then I can take time out of my optional slots and use it to study vocabulary.
Exactly. Let's say also within the slot itself, let's say vocabulary is worth 80% of the test, and you have it divvied up exactly even, 30 or 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here for this thing. Well, if you know vocabulary is more important and is weighted more for the test, it's a higher priority. So you could take away studying time from grammar if vocabulary is going to be weighted more. Again, it depends on what is a priority. That is the reason for those colors. Once you start realizing what is a priority, you focus on the priority first and worry about the less demanding things later. Any other questions with the schedule? Horton.
How's it going?
Horton, here's a who. Welcome to class.
You guys can hear me fine?
Yep. We're just covering schedules right now. Let's see here. You can click on my screen. It'll stop the screen from jumping around.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. What else are we working on here? Okay. How to write an expression post. Logistics and mindset. Some people are talking about having trouble writing an expression post because their mind is all over the place. Who knows how to write an expression post? Anybody here? Anybody ever written an expression post before in their life?
Yeah, I have.
Yes? Who has an easy time writing their expression, or who has no trouble writing their expression post? Meaning, it may suck, but they can just write it. Anybody?
I say I can.
Okay.
Me, Wolfgang.
Tell me,
Okay.
Wolfgang. So, the only problem with you is just being lazy and not doing it, but the actual writing of the post is not a problem.
Yeah, but, I mean, it does suck a bit, like, getting my thoughts together and writing down, taking the time to do it, but I don't really have problems, like, writing it, no.
Anybody? Okay, so what's your secret for writing your expression post?
Well, I just try to think, I think about a subject, and then I try to think, like, how I feel about it, what is my experience of it, and, like, what I think about it, and I write it down.
Okay,
I
so
try to put my emotions and try to find words to describe what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you have a subject you start with, and then you just kind of brainstorm about that subject?
Yeah, that, or if there's something that's been on my mind for a while, I'll start writing about it.
Okay, so it kind of sounds like you don't have a problem writing an expression post because you don't have anything to write about before that, and then you have stuff that's kind of building up during the week or during the month, and then finally you have something to write about. So it sounds like you have so much stuff to write about that it's easy versus somebody who's writing every day. It's going to be more difficult for them to come up with things because they're writing about them every day. They're releasing them every day. So is anybody writing more regularly that's having trouble?
But I wouldn't say that because I believe I could write something. I could write about any subject. I could do it every day.
Well, we don't know that yet because you haven't done that.
Yes.
We'll come back to that experiment after you've done it. Okay, so let me just explain how I would do an expression post. Number one, I wouldn't have any kind of instant messenger open or have the chat room sound going off or anything that's distracting me. There's too many ways to be distracted. So you got to consider this like a mandatory section on your schedule, just like studying. So I would open up a notepad. My favorite thing is just to have a blank notepad. I don't even like word processors. I'll open up a blank notepad just to start writing.
How come you don't use word processors?
Well, I can transfer it. I can cut and paste it to a word processor later. But just for getting it out, I'll open a notepad. So I'll just make it, maximize it so it takes up the entire screen. Now I have nothing to distract me. So number one is get rid of all distractions. If you have things going on that can distract you from your post, they're going to distract you. Number two, you can put on some music. Don't put on anything with lyrics. Put on background music like, classical. You know, there's
some Beethoven on there.
Beethoven. There's new agey type, esoteric, chiming music, hippie music, whatever you want to call it. Anything that just doesn't have any lyrics in it. So you can put something on in the background if you want if that helps you. But the key thing is to just get rid of distractions. Get rid of distractions. Get rid of things that are preventing you from writing the post. And now, if you got rid of the distractions and you're just staring at a blank screen here, I'm going to open my notepad. Boop. All right. New. Control new. So now I got this whole thing here. I'm going to make it the size of the entire screen. I'm not going to worry about correcting my grammar. not at the beginning. I'm going to worry about that at the end, after I've already written down as much as I can. Then I'll go back and correct the grammar. But while I'm writing my post, my focus is to write the post, to get my thoughts out, not to perfect the grammar or the sentence structure. So, number one is just get the post out. So, sometimes I don't even worry about capitalizing the sentence. A lot of times you see I don't even care about capitalization. But the point is, if something is slowing me down from getting that post out, I need to eliminate it. So, for instance, correcting grammar is slowing me down. I'm going to eliminate it. It's more important that I get my thought out than it is to correct the grammar. The grammar is secondary. So number one is just getting the post out. Whatever it takes to get the post out. Number two, let's see, posting. How would I get the post? Okay, so mindset, cover that. Number two is to have some stimulation. You gotta have stimulation. If you're not stimulated, you won't have things to write about. You have to have some contact with somebody, be it personal contact, talking to somebody during the week, reading a book, going outside your house. You can write about your world. It doesn't even have to be a person. You have to have some stimulation. If you're like DBP, stuck in your room all week, not going out, not talking to people, not reading anything, you're going to lack stimulation. You can still write, but it's going to be much more difficult than if things are happening to you or you're experiencing something from another person's perspective. You need some stimulation. Even TV, at the very least. Some kind of stimulation. You need some stimulation to write. So something has to be stimulating you for you to respond to it. You are sharing your personal reactions. You must be reacting to something. You have to be reacting to a stimulus. So something needs to be stimulating you. That means you need to go out and get stimulated. That means you need to read a book. That means you need to talk to somebody. Or that means you need to start focusing on the degree of your expression. A lot of things you talk about in a very non-specific degree. For example, you went camping. I went camping. I went to the woods. The woods were green. It was fun. This is very non-specific. It is very easy to run out of things to write if you are non-specific about your experiences, non-specific about your reactions. For instance, Wolfgang said he's happy to be here. That is a very non-specific reaction. Happy how? Happy in comparison to what? Why are you happy? What made you happy? There are many questions you can ask about your statements to get to a more specific degree of experience. So if you write a sentence and you're like, that's it, I can only figure out 3 sentences, start asking questions about those 3 sentences. Why? When? How? Who? Where? Ask questions about your sentences. The best questions to ask are why. The why questions will get to the heart of your experience. They will force you to cut your experience up into more specific degrees. Instead of just saying, I'm happy to be here, you will begin to notice, I am happy to be here because I'm seeing all your smiling faces. Your faces create a warm feeling in my heart. I look forward to seeing you. It's like seeing old friends. So now we're cutting up your experience of happiness into specific degrees. Now we have much more to write about. So not only do you need to be stimulated to write something in your expression post, you need to work on your actual degree of your expression, which means you need to start cutting up things into specific degrees. Is it easy to enter into Wolfgang's experience if he says he's happy to be here?
Nope.
Why is it hard to enter into that?
Because we don't know, to what degree is he happy. Anyone can just say, wow, I'm happy.
Happy what? Happy because it's his birthday party? Happy because he got an A on a test? Happy because he's with old friends? Happy because he scratched off a lotto ticket and won? What type of happiness? What degree of happiness? We don't know. That's why it's very difficult for us to get to know him, because we can't enter into that experience. The more specific you get with your experience, with your reaction to that experience, the reaction to the stimulus, the easier it is for people to enter into your experience. Why do we want people entering into our experience, Horton? Horton.
What?
Why do we want people entering into our experience?
I guess that's just what communication is all about.
Mansion. Why do we want people entering into our experience?
Is that how you build social relationships?
What's that?
To build social relationships?
To build social relationships?
Damn it, I did it. To build social relationships.
Travo, why do we want people entering into our experience?
Because people need to enter into our experience. People need to see how we think.
Yes, this is a necessity.
Social need.
Yes, it's a social need. If people aren't entering into your experience, you're not meeting their social need. If people aren't entering into your experience, you are not meeting their social need. Tim Will.
Yes.
Am I entering into your social experience? Am I entering in your social experience? Hold on. Are you able to enter into my reactions? Are you able to enter into my experience, Tim Will?
Yes.
Am I meeting your social need, Tim Will?
Yes.
How do I know I'm meeting your social need? How do you know your social need is getting met?
You're teaching me how to make a schedule. You're teaching me how to write an expression post.
What am I teaching you?
Those are things that I need.
What am I teaching you?
How to become socially competent.
Okay, what are the things that I'm teaching you?
The specific things you're teaching me, like how to write a schedule.
Yeah, but what are those based on? Those things I'm teaching you, what are they based on?
They're based on your experience. I don't know.
You just said it.
Your experiences.
They're based on my experiences. What if I just said, hey, I'm able to socialize. To socialize, you just need to practice getting your expectations met and expressing yourself. That conveys exactly what happened with my, that conveys exactly what happened or exactly how to have the same experiences I'm having. What's the problem though?
How did you do that?
Yeah, how did I do that? You're not able to enter into that experience because I'm not being specific. So I'm not able to meet your social need. This academy would suck if I just said, hey, just practice conveying yourself. Just practice getting your expectations met. That would mean nothing to you. You would get no benefit because your need is not being met because you're not able to enter into my experience. So consider, is your post enjoyable to read? Well, if you're able to enter into that experience, yes, it is enjoyable. If not, it's not enjoyable. Like if you write about, some people have written, what has somebody written about something recently that I just read? I forget who it was. They were writing something about some experience which I had never experienced before, right? Like whether it be a computer or a sport. And they weren't very specific with that reaction to that experience they had. I couldn't enter into it. Therefore, it became a foreign experience to me. I was not enjoying it. If you are writing about things, you're going to eventually write about things that other people haven't experienced. If you're a computer programmer, there are a lot of people who don't know what it's like to computer program. If you play sports, you're an athlete. There are other people who are not athletes. If you go to concerts, there are people that don't go to concerts. If you have a bad life, there are other people who have a moderate life compared to you. If you're Chinese, there are other people that are white, they're black. They don't have the same cultural experience as you. There's a lot of things that people don't have your experience of. And if you don't communicate that experience in a specific degree, the other people can't enter into that experience. They can't share that experience with you. You're not meeting their social need. So it's so crucial to learn how to break your experience up, your reactions up, into a specific degree that is relatable to another person. What's up, Travel? How's it going?
So how do we keep breaking it
What's up, Travel? How's it going?
I'm kind of tired, but I like what you're saying. Like, I'm making notes, and I feel like this is a really good topic we're talking about. Like, you're being really specific about how to write an expression post, and like this is helping me a lot, I think.
Okay, so do you see now your experience, how you related your reaction to the information I'm giving you, your reaction to the experience of me teaching you? It's very specific. First you start out non-specific, I'm tired. I don't even know what that means. Are you tired from partying? You're tired from shooting up from heroin for 12 years? You tired from, you stayed up past your bedtime tonight? I don't know what type of tired you're talking about. But then you started getting more specific about how you're reacting to what I'm saying. You feel like it's helping you. You feel like you're learning from it. this is meeting my social need because I'm able to enter into that experience now. I'm able to relate to what you're saying now because you've made it very specific. You need to make your reactions very specific so people can enter into them.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
What if I said, yeah, I'm tired from scrubbing my tub because I was working like a freaking Mexican.
Okay.
And the other person doesn't know how hard a Mexican works.
Okay.
So then, and that person lives in California where all these Mexicans mow lawns, but they still don't know what I mean.
Do they mow lawns?
The ones that I see, yeah.
I'm talking about the people you're talking to.
Oh, the people I'm talking to?
Do they mow lawns?
No.
So how are they going to know what mowing a lawn is like?
I'd have to explain it to them.
You'd have to be more specific, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Let me see. Alright.
MFer, what's up?
I'm really interested in this topic right now. It's like I'm reading a really good book, and I can't put it down, and I just want to learn more.
Okay, well, see now your reaction is transparent. That is attractive. When people can enter into your experience, and they can say, oh, that's what it's like being MFer, that is attractive. That creates an orderly social interaction because it is meeting my need. When you are meeting other people's needs, you're creating order in the social interaction. That is attractive. If you have a blank poker look on your face, like right now, and I don't know what's going on, that's unattractive. A lot of people have blank poker faces right now. I don't know whether they hate the information, they like the information, they're paying attention, or they want to go to sleep and leave class. I have no idea. Because nobody is very transparent with their reaction. The more transparent you are with your reaction, the more you're meeting my social need. Shy Willie, what's up? Totally. You have no reaction to what was said about expression posts.
I feel like I've heard this before, but like I forgot it, and now like I'm hearing it again.
Yeah, it's just a review from the ebook, right?
It's yeah.
Yeah? You're not having any other reactions?
I just can't put them into words right now.
Well, that's why you need to practice writing expression posts so you can put them into words. Wolfgang, what's up, bro?
Man, right now I'm fighting myself. And on one way, like, I appreciate this information. I really like it. Like, you have to be more specific. On the other hand, my lazy stuff is like, man, now you have to be specific, bring people into your experience, and like think more about what you got to tell them. And
that's why it helps to have a schedule. Lazy people need a schedule. You need to start getting your schedule going, and the best way to do that is to join the schedule accountability group. You have no self-discipline. You are lazy because you have no self-discipline. You know how you get self-discipline?
By making a schedule.
No. If you make a schedule and you're lazy, you're not going to keep the schedule.
Okay, by making a schedule and having somebody be accountable to somebody.
Right. Yeah. You need external discipline. You need somebody to kick your ass because you're a lazy fuck. So you need external discipline to develop self-discipline. You are lazy because you have no self-discipline. You need to first get self-discipline in order to keep your schedule.
Yeah.
That's why you have a schedule accountability group. They are the external discipline to say, hey, why aren't you doing this? Hey, you need to do this. Hey, stick to this. Hey, I'm not able to do that too. I'm having trouble with my schedule here. You are accountable to other people. You are learning how to be accountable to other people so that you can hold yourself accountable, so that you can keep your schedule. That's why it's important to not only start the schedule, but to learn how to keep the schedule. There's no point in starting your schedule if you can't keep it, and you need to have a schedule started so you even know what to keep. So you need both things. You need to start a schedule, and you need to learn how to keep a schedule. They're both equally important. Yeah. You make a schedule, it's the best schedule in the world, you can't keep it, what's the point? It's useless.
Yeah, I made a schedule about a month ago. I kept it for a week.
Yeah, it's pointless, right?
Yeah.
Might as well have just not made the schedule at all. Doesn't matter. So get into the schedule accountability group. Get with Torero. Send Torero a PM. Tell him you want to join the group. Boggles, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you keep giving us this theoretical information. I think we just need lots and lots of examples and practice to keep getting it down. You're the only one who can, I mean, of course you have lots of practice. Yeah, be specific, convey your actions, but everybody's struggling. We're struggling.
Why are they struggling, Tim Will?
I'm struggling because I'm just lazy.
How do we solve that lazy problem, Travo?
By having someone become accountable for you.
So, we need a schedule accountability group. Does everybody here have a schedule?
Yes.
Boggles, you got a schedule?
I have a schedule, but I'm not able to keep it.
When did you make your schedule?
I've been making it for the past few weeks.
So you haven't even made your schedule yet, and you're wondering why you can't keep or you can't develop your expression.
I just not able to keep it. Yeah.
You're wondering why you can't write a proper expression post when you don't have it scheduled, number one. And number two, you're not accountable to writing that post well. Because you're not an accountability group. You're not working with other students.
I joined the accountability
How are
group,
your relationships with the other students at the academy?
Not good.
There's your answer. The more isolated you are at the academy, the more not good you will experience. MFR, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They've been improving. I've been trying to reach out to people through PMs and posting on their expression posts. So I'm planning to...
How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They can be better.
How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They're not what I want them to be, and I'm planning to improve.
How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They're really bad.
Shy Willie, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
Not good.
DKO, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
Bad.
Wolfgang, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They don't exist.
Tim Will, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They're crap.
Big L, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
Well, I've been talking to Zenik practically every day. Well, shit, aside from Zenik, I haven't actually talked to everyone, so it's shitty in general.
Travo, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Horton,
not
new
difficult.
student, how are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
I feel like I just transferred to a new school. It's the middle of the school year, and I don't know anyone's name.
How would you characterize your relationships with the other students at the academy?
I didn't hear what you just said.
How would you
You're talking about-
characterize your relationships with the other students at the academy?
I just don't have any.
Non-existent. N-A. Not applicable. Not there. Does anybody see a common theme? Does anybody see a common theme? Does anybody notice a common theme?
Nobody has good relationships.
Does anybody see a link between your laziness, your inability to do something, and your relationships with other students at the academy?
Yes, directly proportional.
The lazier you are, the crappier your relationships.
Interesting. Interesting.
There's no human motivation.
Interesting. So you're telling me you can't motivate your lazy self? My answer is yes, you can't motivate your lazy self. That's the point. You have no self-discipline. You have no external discipline. You have very few relationships with other students at the academy. This is why you need to develop those relationships. These things are all related. Any other questions? Okay, moving on.
Well,
Yes.
Well, Professor, now that you've brought that into my mind, I'm actually thinking about PMing Horton over here.
I don't care about what you're thinking. What do I care about?
My relationships with my fellow
No.
students.
Boggles. I don't care about he's thinking about PMing Horton. What do I care about?
Actually doing it because I think of a billion things, but I never do it.
Yeah, I don't care what
I
you
want to
think.
have great relationships with all of you guys, but I never do that shit.
So I don't want to hear about what you're planning on doing. Report to me after you've done it.
Oh.
How to
Got
write an
it.
expression post. Okay, so we covered
The
stimulated,
first two.
that. Any other questions about writing your expression post? Okay. What?
I'm thinking I generally have all these questions, and now I'm not able to bring it out.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So if so I can assume if you don't say if you post an expression post and you don't say it's bad or the grammar's bad, then it's good.
No, not at all. Sometimes I don't respond to them because they're so bad.
But don't you put them in the trash if they're bad?
No, so it's your expression post. A lot of times I leave them just as examples so you could look back and see what you wrote before.
Oh, okay.
So what I would concentrate on if you want to find out what's good is where I do make comments. That's why you need to read other people's expression posts. If you're only reading your expression post, you're missing the point. Everything I comment on applies to you. Why?
Also, we should comment on each other's posts.
Why, Wolfgang?
Why it applies? Because we're all in the same situation.
Why does it apply to him, Travo?
Because it's based on principles. It
Yes.
applies to everybody.
I am commenting on the principle of the thing that deals with expression posts. I'm not commenting on specific situations. So if I tell somebody they need to expand on their specific degree of their experience, that applies to you. I'm not just talking to one person. I am addressing large areas of their writing. I'm addressing the principle behind a good expression post, not just a specific word he left out or, sometimes I do mention grammar, but by and large I try to keep the comments directed at things that I like in general. Like if somebody is telling me they're going in, when I say great post and they've gone really in depth and I say, hey, I was able to enter into your experience as a great post. Well, that should tell you what makes a great post. I'm able to get into that experience. You're able to meet my social need. That makes it a great post. Any post that meets my social need is a great post.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay. Mr. Care Bear and his excuses. Oh, I don't even want to cover that right now. Let's see. I think there was something I added at the very end that I actually wanted to cover. Let's go to the bottom here. One of my problems is that I can't figure out what to say when someone is talking about something I don't care about. I assume if this were the case, I would have to lead the direction in a place I want it to go. Obviously, not everyone will be a politics nut or a physics nerd, but at the same time, it's very easy to talk to people who have a lot of the same experiences or the same interests as me. What is the problem? Who do we like to talk to?
Fun people. Professor Plum.
Fun people. Who do we like to talk to, MF?
We like to talk to people who allow us to enter into their own experiences.
So what does that generally translate into for people like you? Who do you like to talk to? Who do you end up talking to, I should say?
We end up talking to people who it's easier for us to get into their experience and easier for them to get into
Travo,
ours.
who do we end up talking to?
We like talking to fun, outgoing people who...
Nope. Shy
I feel
Willie.
like in my life,
Shy Willie, who do we...
I wanna,
Shy Willie, who do we talk to?
Our friends,
Yeah, why are they our friends?
because we can relate to them.
Getting close. Who do we talk to, Tim Will?
We talk to people who can not only relate to our experiences, but they can also bring us into their experiences.
What does that generally translate into?
People with similar
Relationship.
experiences.
Oh, wait, Horton said it.
I feel like in my life, it's always people with similar experiences. You're always just bouncing back and forth and never really going nowhere new.
Right, but what type of people? Let's say you're a computer science major.
Yes,
You're
we have
usually
computer
talking
science
you're
majors.
usually talking to jocks, right?
Nah, it's gonna be people, other computer science majors.
Oh.
It's hard to grow out of those bubbles you find yourself.
I don't care about that. I'm trying to get at the heart of the problem first. So if you're a computer science major and you're not talking to jocks all the time, what does that tell you?
You can't leave.
You're not gonna do it.
Why aren't you talking to
You can't
jocks?
bring people in your experience.
What's that?
You can't bring people into your experience.
Oh, you can't bring people into your experience. And
You can't relate to jocks.
You can't lead.
you can't relate to jocks. And what about
They
the other
can't
side?
relate to you.
They can't relate to you. You're a nerd. They're a jock. You can't relate to being a jock. They can't relate to being a nerd. So obviously they're not going to talk to you.
Yes.
So when, I can't remember who said it, when Travo, I think it was, no, I don't remember who it was. When they say, one of my problems is that I can't figure out what to say when somebody is talking about something I don't care about. So somebody's talking about sports and you don't play sports. What's the problem?
They're not relating it to you.
Yes, they're not relating it to you. So When somebody's talking about something that doesn't relate to you, what is the problem in the conversation?
You're not being drawn into their reality.
That is part of the problem.
They're not being specific enough with their reaction.
Yes, that's definitely part of the problem. What's the other part of the problem?
They're not filling your need.
Obviously, they're not fulfilling your need. What's the other part of the problem?
The problem on your side or their side?
Whoa. Let's see, Wolfgang.
Yes, they're not able to bring you into their...
We already got that.
You're not making
Boggles. Whoa, who said that?
You're not making your expectations clear.
You're not making your expectations clear. Not only that, what else?
On whose side? Their side or our side?
Your side.
We are not initiating and showing them how to bring people into our
Yes,
experiences.
you are not stating your expectations, and you're not leading them how to meet your expectations. What is your expectation if you're talking to a jock?
To make sure he brings me into his experiences so I can relate and have fun with him.
How would you do that?
I would do that by, first of all, conveying my reaction so that he's more likely to open up, and then start leading him into how he should talk to me, like specifically describing what he's experiencing.
Exactly. So the thing is, you're not directing traffic. You're letting the conversation happen to you. Obviously, it's not going to happen because he's not trained to share his experience. You're not training him how to share his experience. So there's going to be no bridge. There's going to be no meeting of social needs. So the conversation's not going to happen. You guys have experiences that I don't experience. How am I able to bridge that gap?
Keep leading us.
Tim Will? How am I able to bridge that gap with you nerds?
You teach us.
You want to get more specific?
You teach us how to have specific degrees of our reaction so that we can bring others to our experiences. You're basically, by giving us like the basic stuff like expression posts and scheduling, you're teaching us.
I am directing you how to meet my expectation. Your answers don't even meet my expectations. Your answers are all over the place. They're generalized. They don't apply to me. I'm talking to you. So I have to direct traffic. I have to say, no, not that. Do this instead. If I don't say no, not that, you will keep telling me all these general answers I don't care about. So this is like you telling me about a sport I don't know anything about. You're not giving me any background on the sport. I need to say, don't tell me about scoring a touchdown. Talk to me first about what it's like being an athlete. Talk to me first about what are the rules of the game, etc. So I need to tell you what not to do before I tell you what to do. I need to start directing traffic. Travo.
Yes.
How do I direct traffic with a person I don't know and I want to get to know? I'm running out of things to say. What do I do?
You have to punish and reward. You have to tell them what not to do and then tell them what to do.
Yes.
You just lead them into the right direction. Take them by the hand and just make them follow you to where you want them to go.
Exactly. So, for instance, I'm a nerd. I want to learn what it's like to be a jock. I need to direct that guy and say, don't tell me about this until you tell me about this first. Don't do that. Explain this. Don't be very general. Talk about your specific degree of your experience. Tell me what it's like. Be more specific. You need to keep directing people to meet your expectations. People don't know how to meet your expectations because you're not directing them. They are poorly trained just like you are poorly trained. You are getting trained, so you are the one that has the responsibility to train them. Make sense, Travo?
Yeah. It's good.
One of my problems is that I can't figure out what to say when somebody is talking about something I don't care about. So what do you do then, MFer?
You
You have to tell them what to say and what not to say in order to get a better sense of what they're saying.
Yeah, I need to tell you, don't say that, say this. Don't do it that way, do it this way. Don't just tell me it's fun. Tell me more about how was it fun. Don't just tell me about a touchdown. Tell me about the rules. Tell me what it's like scoring a touchdown. Tell me why you like that. Be more specific. Direct traffic. The reason why you don't know what to say is because you're not properly being stimulated because you're not directing them how to stimulate you. If they start telling you more of their personal reaction to scoring a touchdown, and they start giving you explanations about the game and how it's played, then you can have a reaction and go, oh, I'm reacting to that. Oh, that makes me think of this. Then you do have things to say. that clear?
Crystal.
Crystal. You got that, Shy Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. All right, I can close this one here. Let me close that one there. Okay. Super Shy Guy wrote, I'm noticing a pattern. Actually, let's have Super Shy Guy read this. Let's have Shy Willie read this.
He's in the other hangout.
Oh, where is he? Where'd he go?
He's in the hangout with DBP.
Who?
Super Shy Guy.
No, I'm talking about Shy Willie.
Oh, okay.
Actually, we'll just go around and read this. Horton, you're first. Shy Willie, you're second. MFer, third. Big L, fourth. Boggles, fifth. Tim Will, sixth. Travo, seventh. Wolfgang, eighth. Hit it.
I'm noticing a pattern, like a running theme across everything that we're learning.
I can't hear you. Slow down and speak loudly. See how I'm directing traffic? Go ahead.
I'm noticing a pattern, like a running theme.
No, you're
across
good. You're good.
everything.
One sentence each.
Okay.
Who's after you? Shy Willie, I think, is after you.
Like a running theme across everything that we're learning here at this academy.
Shy Willie, read louder.
Like a running theme.
Louder.
Like a running theme across everything that we're learning here at this academy.
Okay, next.
This theme is the breaking down of everything into smaller portions and limiting yourself to focus on one thing at a time.
I keep thinking of Plum's podcasts where he talks about being specific.
Oh, interesting.
Now that's got me thinking. What does specific even mean?
What I think it means is limiting the subject you are talking about and focusing on one particular detail within that subject.
Oh, interesting.
Breaking down and limiting your time is also crucial.
Oh, it's related. Interesting.
That's where our schedules come in.
Is it back up to me?
Yep, think about it. What is a schedule?
A schedule is breaking down your day and your goals and focusing on one thing at a time.
Slow down, read louder, enunciate your words.
A schedule is breaking down your day and your goals and focusing on one thing at a time for a specific amount of time. You don't multitask and try to tackle everything at once.
You limit your options and temporarily work on just one goal.
Limit your options. Interesting. I've heard that before.
The same theme applies when you're managing your expectations.
You focus on one person's specific behavior and you punish, reward depending on whether your expectation is being met or not.
Then you provide them with the specific direction they should go in.
Huh, interesting.
This, in turn, limits their behavior and directs the individual to move forward in one direction.
Limiting behavior, moving forward in one direction. Interesting.
Expressing your candid reaction should also be broken down and limited to specific components that make up your emotions, your thoughts, knowledge, feelings, etc.
Specific components, limited. Interesting. My biggest problem with my expression was that I tried to describe the entire sum of what was going on in my head with one short phrase or even one word. That's cool. That sucks. That's fun. That's rad. Neat. Sup, bro?
The key is to listen to each individual emotion going on inside you and take your time to break it down and be specific with what you are feeling or thinking about.
Be specific. Interesting. I've heard that before.
The way I'm thinking about it is to approach all of the concepts we are learning here with a microscope.
You can't be more specific and thorough than that.
Oh shit. Okay. The way. Oh, hold on. My biggest problem with my expression. Oh, it's the problem.
The problem is...
Skip. Next.
Shit.
The problem with taking that approach is that it takes time to focus.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
What? Could you read that sentence again?
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Could you read that sentence again?
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Can you read it again? Read again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Okay, read it again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Okay, read it again. Keep going. Doing fine.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Read it again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
One more time.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
One more time.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
One more time.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
One more time.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
One more time. Come on, keep going.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Keep going.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Keep going.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Put your hands over your eyes. Do it again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Do it again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Do it again.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
Do you think you could read that sentence without even looking at it?
Yes.
Do it.
With training, though, it becomes faster.
How come you're able to do that without even looking at the sentence?
Because I repeated it 22 times.
What does that mean when you're repeating it 22 times?
You're basically memorizing it.
What does it mean when you're memorizing it?
Training.
You're training.
You're training. Oh, he just demonstrated training. Amazing. Good job. Okay, next sentence.
Okay. To be completely honest, I tend to rush through many things to meet other people's expectations of how fast they want things said or done.
This in turn prevents me from really breaking things down, being specific and limiting my options.
From now on, I'll be taking as much time as I need to be really specific with what I want to say and do.
Anyone that tries to rush me will be punished.
Will be terminated. Will be killed. So he's making threats now at people. You try to rush me, sucker. I'm going to end your life. Comments. Tim Will.
He's basically putting in words what you've been trying to teach us.
Care to be more specific?
He said it in his own words.
Care to be more specific?
He's taken what he's learned in the academy and writing them down point by point in his own words.
Okay, that's very general. Boggles?
He really broke down the concept by expressing his own words and expanding on, he basically showed how being specific is applicable in all different areas in your schedule, in your expression, in the way you speak, the way you do activities. I really like this post. I really like that he thought about it this way. And reading it, I was like, wow. I need to be following this too.
MFer, any reason why I like Boggles' response more than Tim Will's response?
He was being more specific.
Oh, interesting. Any reaction to the post?
I need to take a note to try and remember the concepts that was explained, because in a lot of the times in my conversations specifically, I try to respond as fast as I can, because in my mind, if I take too long, they might think, he probably has something to say, but he doesn't want to say it, or he might be stupid. So I just need to keep in mind that I need to take things slower and organize my thoughts before I actually do it, so that I can have a better experience.
Or you need to direct traffic and put people on your time schedule versus you trying to get on their time schedule.
That's it.
Instead of saying, hurry up, MFer, what are you going to say to them?
I'm going to say, let me take my time.
No. Instead of saying, hurry up, MFer, what are you going to say to them?
Don't tell me to slow down.
You're going to say, slow down.
Slow down.
Okay.
When I say, hurry up, MFer, you're going to say,
slow down.
You're going to say, no, you need to slow down. You need to be on my time schedule. Big L.
Yes?
Hello.
Yo. I'm just thinking about that cake that my mom just gave me. I just want to ravish that shit down. And, that chocolatey marvelness.
Okay, great. All right, great. Wolfgang.
It was a really good post. He made some realization. I like the realizations he made. And, he's taking what he read in the ebook and what he learned in the podcast, and he's applying it to himself. And I like when he said that he had to put people on his own time, not trying to rush time people's stuff. and also he was breaking down like what his schedule is, and that's like really what I need, like limit things to be specific. So I like that.
Sweet. Shy Willie.
I liked it because it was very insightful. I've heard before the importance of being specific, but this really drove home the point to me.
Yes. Travo.
Alright, I really liked it because I could relate. When he was talking about people expecting him to rush, I thought about me doing that, and I thought, like, a lot of times no one even tells me that they expect that. It's like this ghost expectation that's not really there, but I assume people expect that of me. And it just makes me think that I need to also work on that and just figure out what my expectations are instead of worrying about other people's expectations.
I like that, ghost expectations. I like that.
Otherwise known as
Dysfunctional expectations?
dysfunctional expectations?
Dysfunctional expectations. I sounded like a bitch.
Social expectations.
Yeah, you sounded like a valley girl.
Social expectations. Horton.
What I took from the post is, for me, what's pushing me to go too fast is usually myself. I put those expectations on myself. I don't feel like I see them coming from other people. Just whenever I have a goal, or even when I want to say something like right now, I gotta rush it out so fast.
Why do people rush when they speak?
I don't know. Can you tell me?
Yes.
Because of dysfunctional social expectations that they think are present.
Why do people rush when they speak? Anybody know?
I know.
What? Wolfgang. Wolfgang, why?
Yeah, it's because they don't want to. They want people to listen to them, and they're afraid they're boring them.
Yes, you're afraid you're boring them. You're afraid that if you don't say it all at once, nobody's going to listen to you. So you try to rush to get it all in.
I just know it's going to take me a lot to really learn how to slow down when I talk.
Same here. I have the same problem.
The problem is not really the speed. It's that you don't know how to manage your expectations.
Professor.
Yes.
I really loved the post because it just got into me in the sense that what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
It just got into my head in the sense that it always in the sense that it was just being specific.
Being specific, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's do one more. Let's do one last one. One last one. Whoa, this is a long one. That's going to take too long. Let's just go for an expression post. How about that? Let's all go to the expression section. Let me get rid of this one. Goes that. Expression section. Doot. Let's see here. Who's got an expression post that we could read? How about Mr. Hives? Let's go with Mr. Hives. Last page. Okay.
I actually like the way he writes sometimes.
Well, let's see. Okay. Let's read this post. Horton, you're up. Then Shy Guy, MFer, Big L, Boggles, Tim Will, Wolfgang. Go.
So I'm sitting here bored as shit.
No, start right here.
Shit, no, I didn't see it. Holy shit.
What? You see how big that is with exclamation points?
Holy shit.
Well, it sounds like one exclamation point, if that, when you read it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm falling asleep. Could somebody read that the way it's meant to be read?
I can do
Holy
it.
shit! Holy shit!
There you go. You just got 2 examples. Good examples. Horton, you want to try it again?
Holy shit.
There, better. Next.
What the hell did I just see?
So I'm sitting here, bored as shit as always, left to my own devices, and I decided to get up and go get a bottle of water from the fridge. Meanwhile,
the message came up. You want to say you're still here?
Oh. If you have the message that says, "Are you still here?" make sure you click it so you don't get logged out. Okay, keep going.
Meanwhile, I catch the back end of this segment on TV about Mormons and relationships.
There were 2 actors at a restaurant, a Mormon guy and this alright looking chick with blonde hair. Reminded me of Goldilocks, but with straight hair.
And a guy and girl were at this restaurant on a date.
It was nothing super fancy nor super expensive.
It was simply an Olive Garden-looking place with cloth napkins and big-ass folding menus, with all the fancy Edwardian cursive writing that's barely legible, with some French-Italian-sounding words. I'd be surprised if the words were actually French-Italian, but I digress.
It's just not enough person in this paragraph.
Let's keep going.
Oh, sorry, that's me. So they're on this little date, and sitting at the table behind them were three typical college guys.
They had on hoodies with jeans, some running shoes, and cheap aftershave.
Sitting 2 tables beside them was an old woman. Ever seen one of those stout old ladies that had
10 million, 10 billion, whatever.
10 billion cats? That's what she,
Next.
that's what she looked like with her lavender dress. Typical old lady.
Finish it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Typical old lady handbag. Excuse me. Pocketbook with slippers from the Salvation Army.
Moving on. So the camera pans on this couple and this table, and the guy, from what I've judged, had balls and authority.
I mean, he was laying the expectations smack down on her candy ass.
As time progressed, a few minutes probably, he pulls out this little box.
Wolf.
Whoa.
Sorry. First thing I thought was, oh wow, he's fixing to marry this chick. Let's see what happens.
However, the girl doesn't see the box and keeps talking, conveying her experiences, and somehow she lets it slip that she's not a virgin.
Oh my goodness!
This guy's face went from relaxed, expressive, comfortable, like the face someone would make when they're having a good time, enjoying himself, to this cold, dead, serious-ass face. The look when someone tells you that a loved one has passed away.
The next words that came out of his mouth were, I told you I wanted someone that was pure, that was a virgin.
The next words that came, but baby! She whined with some crocodile tears. She said it in the passive-aggressive tone, like, why you being mean to me? Yeah. It was just a mistake. But you're not...
Next.
But you're not pure, he declared. It's over. I'm leaving.
Then he gets up and walks out.
Meanwhile, the girl is sitting there crying and shit.
And guess who gets up and goes to sit by the girl?
The three college manginas.
And they're hugging her, telling her, don't worry about him. He's just an asshole. We understand. And other typical Dr. Phil mangina bullshit.
Okay, let's stop right here. Comments.
I didn't like the first paragraph as much. There's not that person he was describing stuff. But in the second paragraph, even though he's describing stuff, you can see he's interjecting his person a little bit here and there, and that's why it got more interesting for me.
Yeah, there was a little bit of his person in there, but it's like an event that I should care about before I even care about reading it.
Yeah.
Next, anybody else? Wolfgang.
I liked it. I mean, it didn't have much of his person, but it was still an interesting story. I still wanted to know what happened. But he did like express like the way he saw it, and with all the exclamation marks and the but baby, like that was a bit of his person there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's kind of overlaying his person over the story and the telling of the story. Horton.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a little bit.
I'd say he conveyed his person through his word choice, just calling her tears crocodile tears, referring to the college guys as manginas, stuff like that. You definitely know what perspective he's coming from.
Personifying.
Okay.
It's not personifying.
No? Okay, my bad.
That's just word choice.
Yeah, you're right.
Personifying is like when you give an object human qualities.
Okay. MFer?
I'm more interested in the TV program, like whether or not it was a commercial or whether it was like a show. I just want to find out what happens next rather than what he specifically has a reaction to.
Shy Guy?
I really like it. I thought it was too over the top. If I saw something like this, I would find more humor in it, but he sounded more like he was disgusted.
Yeah, I wasn't even really that interested in his telling of it. I mean, he probably to me it seemed like he interjected a lot of his personal feelings into it, but I didn't really care about it because I don't care about him yet. I don't know that much about this guy, so to me, whatever story he's telling, it's like irrelevant to me. Big L.
Well, it's a clown story, essentially.
I mean, like, he's just going all, like, he just went all, like, the part where he said, "But baby!" Like, that just kind of reminded me of, like, my more recent posts where I went all clowny and shit.
Yeah, it's just over the top to me. Tim Will.
I mean, there is no, like, he never said why he had this reaction in the first place. I mean, we could infer, we could, like, guess why he had this reaction, but, like, he just says, "Holy shit, what the fuck happened?"
Yeah, it's like he saw a car wreck, but we don't really know how this relates to his life or why he cares about it. I mean, there's no...
why is this such a big deal to him?
Exactly.
He did say that because this guy had balls, and he yes, he liked that.
So later on down the line, we're kind of inferring it's because he had balls, or he's...
Where is it said?
Yeah, he said it briefly.
Is it, well, from what I read, is it moving on, so he said the guy, from what I judged, had balls.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily... It says he has balls, but it doesn't necessarily talk about...
Like, what
he thinks of.
Like, what he judged? Like, what is this? A team...
You don't, it's not clear. It's not clear yet. The intention's not clear. I mean, we can kind of infer it, but it's not crystal clear what's going on, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, again, I have the same reaction, and I also, again, the whole thing is largely irrelevant to me because I can see a little bit of his person. I can kind of see he might be bitter about social interaction, and he might see some of the things that we've been talking about, but I don't learn too much about him, and that's what I care about before I care about any of these other stories he's telling. So, again, this is a fail post to me. Let's see. We got time for one more. Okay. Let's see. Who should we try for?
It's just a rant, really.
Yeah, it just sounds like a
I won't
rant.
call it that.
HS 101. Oh, I haven't heard from him in a while. Let's see. Has he got a new one? No. You asshole. Just one word. That was a teaser. That was a teaser, not a pleaser.
You can read mine since I'm here.
Let's see. Let's try Pillowfort. Bam. Okay. Let's go back one page. Or does he have one right here? No, we can do this one right here. Last post. Same order. Go ahead, Horton.
I did not like the dream I had last night, though it did start off rather nicely.
I baked the most appetizing chocolate cake my imagination could conjure up.
It was richly dark and tender, with sweet viscous cream and dark cherries between the layers, complete with a shiny, sticky icing surface, and beautifully decorated with colorful marzipan ornaments on top of blue, yellow, and orange.
I baked it for my family, and there my father was sitting at the... I baked it for my family, and there my father was sitting at the head of the table, content and happy with what I made.
I'll probably never have that cake, never have a cake like that in real life. It was too good to be true.
But there was one piece that wasn't eaten, and I knew who it was belonged to, so I went looking for her.
It was some girl I took out on a date the other day. Now I'm having dreams about her.
I found her. She was wearing this beautifully scarlet pink dress, and she looked very feminine and beautiful in this dress.
But it all went downhill from there, because she was out at the cinema on a date with Jay-Z, of all people.
Hold on a second. Read that sentence again.
But it all went downhill from there, because she was out at the cinema on a date with Jay-Z, of all people.
It was one of the most disappointing moments I've ever had in a dream. And to make things worse, it was one of those dreams that felt exactly like real life.
I was filled with jealousy. I've never felt that jealous before, especially by the way she was affectionately leaning up against him.
Oh, I did not like that one bit.
Even on dream mode, I was clearly reminded of this expectation from the ebook, and it came through to me so loud and clear. I expect a girl I'm seeing to only be seeing me.
But in this dream, I failed to enforce this expectation. So when I got home, I logged onto the Manhood Academy, and there was Professor Plum abusing the hell out of me for screwing up. Well, that may yet turn out to be true.
Then I woke up and I realized it was just a dream.
I was thinking to myself, thank God that was just a fucking dream.
I cannot play Jay-Z in my car today, or any rap for that matter.
I still got a chip on my shoulder because of him.
But how I love his music. It all started with that song, Money, Cash, Hose. The first time I heard it, I absolutely loved it, because I love anything that is so cheesy, so stereotypical, that it almost becomes a parody of its own genre, and that's exactly how I felt about this song.
I bought it immediately, and have listened to it countless times, except for today.
I'm not listening to any of that stuff today.
What do you think, Boggles?
Pillow for too much description. I mean, he's a nice guy. I like him, but he's very boring. Like, he doesn't show any excitement when he writes. He describes things in detail, but a lot of times he's just, I get lost in the description. I need more of his person, more of his thoughts, more of him. He's just like comes off as a very passive, nice guy to me. And even when I read the post, I feel the same way.
Okay. Tim Will?
Like Bob says, lots of description. I mean, they were like bits and pieces of his, like, how he reacted to certain events, but there isn't a whole lot of him in there. And I don't know him.
Okay. Big L.
It was so fucking boring, simply because of, like, all, like, what the rest of the guy said. It was, like, all of this description and shit. Like, I didn't see Pillow Fort. I did not get the chance to see it. All I just see is, like, all of these descriptive fantasies and whatnot.
Okay. Tim Will? That's not Tim Will, sorry. MFer?
I like the part where he described the cake, because I read this earlier, and I actually wanted some cake after he described that. And
Okay.
I can kind of relate to his dream about feeling, oh, this girl, I couldn't even get her in a dream, because I've had dreams like that, where it's so disappointing. But he could have made it so that I felt more of him.
Okay. So you liked it because you actually related to some of the things being spoken about, not necessarily because he's relating them in an attractive way.
Yeah.
Okay. Shy Willie?
I thought he could have been more specific with how he described his feelings. Like when he described how he was filled with jealousy, it wasn't that descriptive, or it wasn't that specific.
Wasn't that specific? I've heard that before. Interesting. Uh-huh. Kind of reminds me of your response. Not that specific. Horton.
I got some preconceptions here. I've always thought whenever someone says, I had this dream last night, I want to tell you about it, I always just tune out right then. To me, someone's dreams are not interesting to anyone besides themselves.
You know what? I have the exact same reaction as you. Whenever I hear, hey, I had this dream, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
That's exactly what I say. Pisses my wife off. But, I mean, you gotta be so damn good at relating a dream for me to care whatsoever. It's pure solipsism. I mean, we all have weird dreams, and all the symbolism, whatever else you want to draw out of it, it's so personal.
Yeah, unless a person can, again, bring me into the dream in a way that's compelling to me, that shares their reactions, their personal thoughts and reactions about the dream. Just the fact that they're telling me a dream, it can be as fantastic as possible. I don't care. Like you said, we all have these dreams. It's all possible. Anything's possible in a dream. So to talk about a fantastical event in a dream it's like a non-issue to me. It's like it's like saying, oh, in this movie I saw, there was an explosion in it. You know, there's explosions in every Hollywood movie. What's so fascinating about your explosion? It's the same type of thing to me. So yeah, I'm glad you hit on that point. Wolfgang.
Yeah, I didn't comment yet. Yes, thanks. So I want to say he tricked me, because just like Quentin said, like when I heard the dream part, I was like tuning out, like, oh man, like I don't like this sucks already. And he started talking about the cake and his dad, blah blah blah. Like it was really lame. But to me, it started getting interesting when he started talking about like when he saw the girl at the movie that he had a date with before, and she was with Jay-Z. I thought that was pretty interesting. And
Yes.
he said that like he started feeling jealous, and like he never felt jealous before. And I thought that was like talking about his person, so I thought it was cool. And like I like the second part of the post after the movie. Then he said he couldn't listen to Jay-Z because he still felt
Yeah.
the dream. So he was jealous from a dream he had. So I thought that was showing his person. So
Yeah, it's humorous. He threw in some of his personal reaction to that. It was some of the events going on in his life, and he personalized them. He could have done more to bring you into that experience, but yes, you see a little glimpse of him. So we could see what would you recommend, Boggles? How could you change this? Or what in general would you recommend to Pillowfort?
I don't know, he's a nice guy. He's not fun. I'm trying to think.
What makes you fun and not him fun?
He doesn't, when he speaks, it's very, like, plain, like his emotions don't come through. Kind of like how when Zyger first started, he's very great at describing things. Like, he'll write like a whole paragraph, but I think he needs to inject more of his feelings and emotions in every line.
So he's not very
part.
transparent. You don't see
Yeah,
his
he's not very-
his
yeah.
person coming through. Just like when people speak and they're very monotone, like when Horton reads, his reaction to what he's read is much better than his actual reading. There's nothing very transparent in his reading.
Yeah, I never learned how to read out loud.
It's just the way you react. See how you're reacting to things? That's exactly the way you want to read. You want to read the exact same way you're reacting to the sentence or the way you're reacting to the information.
I can't do that because it's not my words.
It takes practice.
I don't feel whatever someone else wrote in that way.
You don't need to feel it.
I'm thinking...
The punctuation and the content itself will give you the clues for how to read something. For instance, holy shit. I don't feel holy shit. I don't care about, holy shit when somebody says holy shit with 3 exclamation points. But I know how to read it. Holy shit!
I think it's just authenticity for me. I don't feel like I'm being honest because it's not my words. It's really hard for me to act like that.
Well, you don't need to act like that. It's just like taking directions for how to do a push-up. You just do it. You didn't invent the push-up. You just need to repeat the motion. So the punctuation and the context is telling you how to convey it. So all you need to do is convey it.
Well, I got an idea for Pillowford.
Yes.
He can try reading Private Tuggers and Bogue's posts and see what they're doing and get ideas from there.
Okay, good suggestion. Thank you, guys.